Welcome to this webinar about Advanced Forms, the document output management solution. In this webinar, we'll demonstrate the solution Advanced Forms Cloud for Business Central. One of the components of Advanced Forms is the actual Advanced Forms connector, which you can download yourself in Microsoft AppSource. The second part of Advanced Forms is the portal that can be accessed via a web browser. You can easily create and manage services designed on this portal. And also, by means of roles and rights, it's possible to determine what a user can and cannot do in the portal. So, during this webinar, we'll show you a number of things. First of all, is how to determine which report should be handled by Advanced Forms. After that, we'll actually process a document to see the end result. From there, we'll show you some of the various options you have in the preview screen. Next, we'll show you how to add a missing form to the report dataset from a table with the Add Field to Report functionality of Advanced Forms. We'll move on and show you how to easily add missing translations by using the Add Label functionality of Advanced Forms. And finally, of course, we'll show you how to create and adjust a design via the Advanced Forms portal. So, let's get started. We'll go first to the Report Configuration in the Advanced Forms menu right here. In this menu, you can determine which report should run via Advanced Forms. What I mean by that is, from which report will the Advanced Forms connector collect the data and make it available to create a design. As you can see in this case, we're choosing this 1306 Standard Sales Invoice report. Going through it, we see we have several parameters. We assure that the document will be displayed in the correct way, and also can be sent out using various distribution options. For this entire demo, we'll be using the 1306 Standard Sales Invoice report. And to show you what the end result looks like, we'll guide you through the sales invoice process. First, we go to the Posted Sales Invoices. Choose one of the invoices right here that we want to print. Click either on Print or Preview. What happens here is the preview opens and you can see the document exactly as you're going to send it out. As you can see, that's the preview there on the left. On the right side, you can see the option to customize the mail template and also to add recipients. The mail template, as shown here, can also be made in the Advanced Form Designer. As a matter of fact, this template was designed in Advanced Forms. You can also see that the subject and email addresses are automatically filled in with the correct information. This is done based on the data from the XML. Up on the top left of the screen, we see 4 different distribution options for Advanced Forms. First, the Print button, which speaks for itself. When you hit the Print button, the screen will immediately open with the available printers. In addition, there's the Mail button, which you can use for sending out the invoice by email to the recipients as indicated there on the right side of the screen. You can also use the Print and Mail button next to the Mail button if you want to print the invoice and send it by mail. And the last option you see here is Distribute. You can determine per invoice whether it should be emailed and printed or just one of the two. So we move on now to one of the most recent developments that Advanced Forms offers its customers, and that is adding a missing field to the report dataset. Let's go again into the Advanced Forms report configuration. We'd like to add fields to a report dataset, which we can see here for the 1306 Standard Sales Invoice. So we do this with the Add Fields to Report functionality, which we developed especially for Advanced Forms. A screen opens here in which we can determine a number of parameters. First, we have to determine from which table we want to add the field. For this webinar example, we're going to add a specific bank number of the customer to a sales invoice, which in Europe, and we're using a Dutch interface here, is called the IBAN. So we know this option is in the table 287, Custom Bank Accounts. Here, we indicate that we want to search for a field in the table 287. Next, we'll look at the field in the actual table. In this case, as we said, it's called IBAN. And we see that it's 24. So we click on 24, and it fills in with IBAN. Now we have to determine where the field should be placed in the XML structure, and to make that easy to find, we placed it in header. As you can see there, we filled in XPath, Reports, Data, Header. Now it's very important that a field is given a unique name. So in this example, we use AF for advanced forms, then underscore IBAN underscore customer. Once we've done this, a filter also must be created to ensure that the system retrieves the correct IBAN number. If you didn't do it, the first IBAN number available would be returned as a result by advanced forms, and that's obviously not correct. So you can set up a filter by doing one of two things. First, we indicate at the column filter the value of the XML that we want to link to the table. So in this case, we choose 1. We can either choose 2, 3, 4, etc., but we're linking it to 1, which is the customer number. Then we have to determine at the value filter where to search. So in this case, we want to put in bill to customer number. That should do it, and we should be ready to get the field and add it to the data set. We select this line, let's say test record. So we want to see if the result is there. We click on test record, and I choose a customer where I happen to know that there's a result, like this one. And if I click on OK, you'll see the result. It says there the search returns and then this specific number. That's the IBAN number of the customer, which we just decided to pick it from. So that confirms that the field has been added to the 1306 standard invoice. Now, we're moving on to the latest functionality, the latest developments of Advanced Forms Cloud for Business Central, and that's called Add Labels. So let's first back out of all of this. The Add Labels functionality makes it possible to easily create translations. So let's head over to Advanced Forms, Labels, and here we are on the label page. Now we can do this in one of two different levels, the main level where we are now and also at the report level. Let's start out going into settings. You can determine what the default language is. So if no default language code is available on the customer card, it'll automatically default to, in this case, English. As you can see in our scenario, it's also possible to add other translations. As you can see here, we have German, English, and French. Should you want to add another one, it's very easy. You click on the field, just open it right here, and from among all the languages, you choose one and add it as a label. So now let's import some translations which are available in these languages. Go to Import, and then let's choose this file called Demo that I created earlier. As you can see, there are some Dutch words here on the left. The translations are available for each of those words over here. So we've seen how all this can be done on the main level of Advanced Forms, labels, but you can also do it at the report level. Let's go back to the report configuration, and once again we go to the 1306 report that we previously used to add fields in the Add Fields to Dataset. Now we'll see how to also add labels. We choose Add Labels. As you can see over here, there are not yet any labels specified for the 1306 report. But the labels here at the top level and report level can be easily exported and then imported into another company or another report. I've already exported the top level labels and will now import them via Import Labels just to show you how the functionality works. I'll choose the XML demo, as you can see here, and there are the translations again. But in this case, only for the 1306 reports, the standard sales invoice. So we've now reached the last part of this webinar and also the second part of Advanced Forms. For this, we're leaving Business Central and we're going to go into the Advanced Forms portal. So in this portal for Advanced Forms, which is accessible via a web browser, you can easily adjust your designs yourself and determine which design should be shown when a print takes place in Business Central. On the left side, we see the actual design file, and along the right, we see a corresponding XML from Business Central. When I want to adjust this design, I click on the pencil over here, and then click the appropriate XML here. When I click Open, the design file will be linked to the XML in order to be able to format the document into Designer. So I'll now click Open, and then the Online Designer of Advanced Forms opens up. This is the actual Designer of Advanced Forms, and on the left we can open the XML structure. So you see here the data sources, and then we see Connection. If I click Open Connection, you see the whole structure of the XML. If you recall, in the Add Fields to Reports functionality we demoed, we added the IBAN field to the dataset. So let's see if it's in there. We placed it in the reports data under header. It should be available right there. Here, I'll space this out a little bit so we can see it all. And as you can see, the first field available in the structure is AF_IBAN. IBAN_customer. That's the actual field which we had added earlier to the 1306 standard sales invoice dataset. If we want to get this field into the design, it's a matter of drag and drop. We pick up the field, we place it, for instance, right over here. We can give the field some properties. Let's slide this back over, and we'll see if the field is in there. You can do that via a live preview. That's another nice piece of functionality in our designer. So if you go over to Reports, we can click Preview. We can see the design as we just saw it in Business Central. And here we see the new field. This is the IBAN number, just as we have placed in the design. Thanks for attending this webinar about Advanced Forms Cloud for Business Central. For more information about Advanced Forms or any of our other solutions, please contact us. Thank you very much.